Do you want to add gradient background to any button in your Shopify store? Then you've clicked on the correct video, because today I'm going to show you in this video how to add gradient background to your Buy It Now button, your Add to Cart button, your product variants, and also show you some CSS code to isolate maybe just one button that maybe you want to bring attention to. We're going to do that as well. We're going to use some CSS, some simple CSS that you're going to be able to just copy and paste. The link will be in the description down below. Just follow along so that I can show you how to customize it for your website. We'll be using my demo website that I'm using in the Dawn theme, but you can use this on any free Shopify theme. Let's jump into the dashboard and let's get started. Okay, so we are in our dashboard. And before we get started, let me head over to the live site. So this is my demo site. So you can see what it currently looks like. And this is the button that we are going to be working on. So our mission. So let's head back over to our theme editor. So we're going to go ahead and customize here. And we're going to come down to the section, and we want to click on the section, which is the image with text. And the reason why we want to click on the whole section is because we want access to the custom CSS that you see right here. And so this custom CSS allows us to customize this section and this section only. So this button that we're going to add the gradient to will only add the gradient to the button here. It will not add the gradient to any of the other buttons on the website or any of the other buttons in the image with text section that we might have on the site. Okay. If we come right over here, you'll see that if we actually just click on the button right here, you'll see that you'll only have access to just change the text and also the link. You cannot add any customization to that button from here, but you can if you click on the whole section, and then we'll come down here to the custom CSS. Okay. The code is in the description below. So this is going to be the code here, and you can customize it to match your site. The beautiful thing about working in this section here is that you can see the effects of it right away, as opposed to when you're customizing from the edit code, you have to refresh and come out so that you can see what's actually going on. But here you can see it right away. Off the bat, let's go ahead and just change this color right here because that looks terrible. So let's go ahead and make that a white. So let me go ahead and save that, and let me show you that one change we've made, what it looks like on the front end of the site. And there we go. That's starting to look a lot better. Okay, so let me show you how you're going to customize this for your website. So I'm using two colors. So you're going to go ahead and update that with the two colors that you want that match your brand. All right. And then the other part of this code is the degree of the angle in which the gradient is coming in from. So right now I have it at 45 degrees, but you can make this whatever you like that to be. We can make it into 90 degrees, and you can see what that looks like there. You can change this however you'd like. I like the 90 degrees, so let me go ahead and put that at the 90 degrees. Go ahead and make those customizations as you'd like. You're not going to break anything. So you might be asking yourself, actually, I want 3 colors for the variants. You only have 2. How do I do that? Not a problem. Just click right in there. You add a comma and then the hex color for the other color that you want to use. I want to keep this really simple and light. So I'm going to use the same color, the same beige color. I'm going to add that. And you see how that changed immediately. So let me go ahead and save that. And so now it adds the color. Let me go to the front side. Let's refresh that. There we go. So now it's going to add the color in the order that I have it set. Actually, if I'm doing it that way, what I'm going to probably do is, let's make that 180. Much better. All right. So go ahead and save that. Let me refresh, because this is how you will do it, right? You're going to tinker with the numbers until you get it to what you like that to be. Now, if you want to reverse it, same process. You're going to go ahead and make this the white, make this the cream color, and then make this the white. See how simple this is? No need to be afraid of it. Lots of people, when they're starting off, they hear code and they're like, no, I don't want to play with that. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's very simple, and there you go. So let's go ahead and reverse that. Actually, if you click right in here, you can undo what you've just done. I like it that way with the dark colors on the top and bottom. But again, you can do this however you'd like. Play around with it. You're not going to break it. How about you want to maybe more of the white and less of the cream? Now, this is very simple code. However, if you don't want to mess around with the degrees and you want to visually see it as you're creating your gradient, let's head over to cssgradient.io. This is going to be your best friend when you want to create gradients. Okay, so let's go ahead and come on down here. And so this website's pretty cool. You can click through these and see this gradient just has 2 colors. This has 3. All right, so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and plug in our colors because I still want the cream. All right, so let's go ahead and copy that and bring that code right in here. All right, and then I still want my white. Okay, and then I kind of like this orange. It doesn't go with my brand, but let's go ahead and use it because those 3 colors look nice together. And here you can see my 3 colors here. And I want the white to still be in the center. So you can use this little circle here to move the line how you want that line to be. So it's really here at the 0. You can also do a radial as well if you'd like. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it in the linear. I want to keep my font green and I want it in the center and I want it to be visible. I want a good contrast between my text and my color. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the white there in the center. Now what I want to do is I want a little bit less. Actually, I'm going to flip it because I want the orange to be at the bottom. So let's go ahead and bring this down here. And I don't want this orange to be so bright. So what you could do is if you can lessen the transparency here. You can bring the transparency down here just a little bit. There we go. All right, and then you can move it here. I want even less of it, a little bit more of it. You can do that. So you can use this tool here to make the gradient exactly how you want the gradient to be. Once you're done with it, you can come down here and it'll create the CSS code for you. How cool is that? Now, I am not affiliated with this website or anything, but I do use it and I wanted to share. So what you'll do here, copy to the clipboard. You're going to highlight the whole thing and then you're going to paste the code right in here. The one thing that you do have to do is come right back here and delete this extra semicolon. All right. And once you do that, you'll go ahead and save it. There we go. That will create the 2 lines of code that you need, the actual background for the gradient and then the percentage. So right here, you see how the cream is now 0%, the white is 54, and the orange here is 100. Let's go back and refresh this one here. And there I have the gradient. And again, you change your mind, you can always come back to this website here and continue to perfect that gradient just the way that you want it there. Let's go ahead and try this radial. You're going to highlight everything after that curly bracket and then right here, right before the exclamation point. And then you're going to paste that code there and just remember to remove this semicolon. And that's what that would look like. Let's go ahead and refresh our site. And there we go. So what's nice about this is because it's isolated code, you can then go ahead and grab this code and add it to any other section that you'd like to add it to. So let's go ahead, let's come to the bottom here and let's click on this image with banner. Again, image with banner here. Here's my CSS and you can paste it. And there we go. So now this button also has the gradient. Now, suppose that you are brand new, you're not a designer and you're not comfortable creating your own gradient. So of course you want a gradient that's going to be appealing to the eye, right? Otherwise somebody's going to see that button and just leave your website because that's just how it happens, right? So what you can do, another resource for you is uigradients.com. And this website has pre-built gradients for you. So you can come over here where it says show all gradients And here are all the pre-built gradients already made. So you can come through here and see if there's something that you like, or you can also pick something from a base color here. So let's click on this green and let's see if I find something that I like, and then we can replace the code that we are currently using. So let's come down here. All right, this one might seem a little bit nice. Yep, I like this one. So let's use this one. So let's go and get the CSS just like we did with the other website. Now we are going to have to modify this a little bit because Shopify doesn't like this WebKit on the front end, but we'll go through that in just a moment here. So let's go ahead and click on copy. And the same thing like we did before, let's go ahead and delete all of this and replace it with the new code. And so here is what I wanted to show you, the WebKit. You do have to remove this line of code. If you forget, you click on save, Shopify is going to give you an error that it does not like this code. We can use this code on the back end of the code editor, which we will use in just a moment, but it doesn't like it here. So we just have to remove it from here. And then also you can remove this information here. This is just comments. So you can remove it or you can leave it. It doesn't matter. It does not affect the code at all. But what you do have to do, just like we did before, you do have to remove this semicolon. Let's go ahead and save that and see what that looks like. All right, so let's go ahead into the front end. Let's refresh that. Beautiful. All right, so now let me show you how to add a gradient to all of the buttons on your website. Before we move on, I wanted to show you two examples on how gradients are used well in a website design, because gradients can easily be overused. So let's head over to JLo's Beauty, and she uses gradient on the website as an accent. So you can see here the buttons and some of the fonts have that gradient effect. And a lot of the product images have the gradient and the buttons. So let's go ahead and go to a product page so we can see. Again, the gradient is used here on the border, on the buttons, and behind the product images, and on this banner here. So it is used as an accent. Another website, look no further than Shopify's own Sense theme. Here they're using gradient in the background of the whole website, and so the buttons are solid. So let's head on over to a product page. We can see a product page here. And again, the background is also gradient, but the buttons are solid. Okay, so I want to show you these two examples so that you see that you don't use gradient everywhere. It's either on the background or in the buttons, but not both. Okay, all right, let's move on. So now let's add this gradient to all of the buttons on our website. So let's head over back to, actually, I want to open a new window and head over to the dashboard. You can reach the code editor. You can either click the three ellipses from here, or you can also do it from up here as well. Okay, but I want to leave this window open. So let's go ahead to our edit code. All right, so we're going to go our assets folder right down here, and we're going to go to our base CSS. Your theme might have a theme.css. They are both the same thing. I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom and then give yourself some space. So just click on enter here, and then we're going to create this code here. So this is the first part of the code. And this right here is a comment. So this is a way that you can write comments for when you're working with CSS. So it's the same like what we had over here, right? That you could delete it or you can keep it. It's not going to affect the design at all. So this is just a way for you to see that what we're doing here is going to apply a gradient to the non-payment buttons. Okay. So now let's head over to our gradient here, and let's go ahead and copy this CSS code and then bring it over right over here. Now this time I'm not going to delete the WebKit line. And this is just like the note says, this is to ensure that the gradient appears on this version of Chrome and this version of Safari. Okay. Then what you'll do here, remember we have to write important just in case. So we're just going to go on the other side of the semicolon here, exclamation point, and then write it in important. And then we're going to close this code with the end curly bracket. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and click on save. And let's head over to our site and let's refresh. And then all of our buttons should now have that gradient. There we go. Let's come down to the bottom. I think I only have 2 buttons. Okay. Now this button here will not change because I already entered that specific code down here. Right? So this is going to target just this one. So no matter what we do on this end here, it's not going to change it. Okay, so we'll have to remove it from here. So let's go ahead and remove that. All right, and let's refresh it. And now it'll apply the code. So now let's head over to a product page and we should be able to also see the gradient in the add to cart. And there we go. Okay, now if you would like to add the gradient to the buy now button, to any of the buy now buttons, you can certainly do so. Again, I would advise change up the color of the gradient so it's not exactly the same. You want these 2 buttons to stand out and be different from each other. So let's go ahead and add the gradient to this button here. Head back to the editor here. Give yourself some space here. And then for the buy now button, you will use this code here. So I've written the comment here. So this is what this code is going to do. It's going to apply the gradient to the payment button. However, it's going to be for the unbranded. So actually, I'm going to write that in there so that you are aware of that. So non-branded, meaning that if this for the customer, if this shows up as a PayPal, a Google Pay, Apple Pay, it's not going to change the color to those buttons. It will only change it. As you can see from here, this is my brand color. So this is the button that is going to add the gradient to. We're going to just copy and paste that same gradient color, except that this time we're going to change it because we don't want that button to be exactly the same. So right now we have the gradient going to the right. So we're going to change this one and then you're just going to enter left. We're going to save this one. And let's head over to the dashboard here, the live, and there you go. So now there is a little bit of a difference between the 2 buttons. The colors are coming from different directions. My advice to you is to add the gradient to the add to cart button and not to the buy now button. Add it to one or the other, but do not add it to both. Also, this button here is not going to change it because this is a custom button that I created. If you want to check out how to do that, I'll link the video up above. Okay, now the last part where you might want to add a gradient button to is for the product variant. So let's add product variants to this product and then we can add the gradient to it. All right, so now we have the 2 variants. So now let's head over to the base CSS. We're going to do the same thing we've done up here. So we're going to add this code here. So this is going to add a variant to the selected variant. So for example, here you see how the green is for the 1 pound, but if I want 2 pounds, it changes the color. So that's what we want. So we're going to add that. And again, we're going to copy and paste this code for your gradient, and we're going to go ahead and copy that. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's refresh. And there we go. So it added the variant. For this particular example, as you can see, we do have to add another line of code because when it's highlighted, the white, you can't see what it says, right? There's no contrast. So let's add additional line of code right here. And it's going to say color, colon. We're going to go ahead and make that black. And then semicolon. Let's go ahead and save that and let's refresh. And beautiful example of the importance of writing important. All right, so that's why we sometimes write important so that it knows, hey, this is important. You need to apply this CSS to this text. So let's go ahead and save that. And let's refresh. And there we go. Okay, so now when you hover over it, the gradient will apply to the active button. That's it for today's video. Remember, all of the codes are in the description down below. Click on CodePen link. That will take you to the CodePen website. Click on the CSS tab and copy and paste any of the codes that you wish to use. And remember to update it with your hex colors or your gradient colors. Until next time, my friends, check out these videos here for more customizations and give me a thumbs up and subscribe so that you get notified when the next video comes out. It comes out once a week, every Wednesday. Until next time, my friends, adios.